Welcome to the Rohn Mindset. In this video, have you ever worked hard, kept showing up, kept pushing forward, yet still felt like you were falling behind? Like no matter what you did, something was missing? That feeling doesn't mean you're weak. It's a signal. It's life's way of telling you to stop chasing approval from the outside and start strengthening the inside. Feeling not enough doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've been measuring yourself against the wrong standards. It means you're still letting old beliefs and old voices steer your life. But the truth is, you are not behind. You are simply at the moment where change is asking to begin. And today, I'm going to give you 5 powerful steps you can use when you feel like you're not enough. No hype. No shortcuts. Just real, practical ways to reclaim your self-worth and build it from the inside out. And here's the best part, you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to begin. Step 1. Walk into every room like you belong there. There is something powerful about the way you carry yourself. I'm not talking about fake confidence or arrogance. I'm talking about making a choice to stand tall, to act with self-respect, even in the moments when your heart feels heavy or your mind is doubting you. That moment when everything inside says, stay small. Stay quiet. Stay invisible. And you choose to walk in anyway? That's the beginning of transformation. Too many people wait. They wait to feel smart enough, successful enough, attractive enough before they finally value themselves. But life doesn't reward waiting. Life rewards action. You don't wait for permission to believe in yourself. You decide. And that decision shows up the instant you walk into a room and say to yourself, I deserve to be here. Now let me be clear, this isn't about acting bigger than others. It's about standing equal. Equal to the value you bring. Equal to the effort you've given. Equal to the future you're building. Think about it, so much of feeling inadequate comes from the way we enter spaces. Head down, shoulders slumped, voice soft. And whether you realize it or not, people notice. They see how you stand, how you move, how you hesitate. That's the impression you leave before you even speak a word. But when you walk in with presence, when you lift your head, square your shoulders, hold eye contact, breathe deeply, people can feel that energy. Even if you're still figuring things out, they sense that you respect yourself. And that changes the entire dynamic. Because presence doesn't start with your resume. It doesn't start with your achievements. It starts with your body, your breath, your eye contact, your willingness to take up space in the world. Where does not enough come from? Now, let's go deeper. Why do so many of us feel like we're not good enough? It often begins early. Maybe someone ignored you when you spoke. Maybe you were mocked for your ideas. Maybe someone criticized you every time you tried. Or maybe someone who should have supported you simply wasn't there. And over time, your brain learned a dangerous story, I don't matter. You didn't choose that belief. It was given to you. But you've been carrying it. So now, whether you're at work, around successful people, or even with friends, you feel out of place. You second-guess your words. You overthink your actions. You spend more time worrying about how others see you than how you see yourself. And it's draining. But here's the truth, you don't start walking into the room like you belong just because you read a motivational quote. You do it because you've made a decision to stop living at the mercy of old doubts. You do it because you've realized shame was never yours to carry. You do it because you finally understand your life matters as much as anyone else's. What does this look like in real life? It looks like preparing for that job interview, walking in with composure, and speaking honestly instead of trying to impress. It looks like showing up to the gym even when you feel out of place, reminding yourself that everyone started somewhere. It looks like standing in a group of people it even shows up at the dinner table with family or friends. When someone says something dismissive, instead of folding, you stay present. You hold your ground, not to argue, but to remind yourself, I'm allowed to exist without apology. Building this mindset takes practice. It's not instant. It's like training a muscle. But every time you walk into a room like you belong, you chip away at the old story that says you don't. And if you want to accelerate that feeling, here's the challenge: start doing the work that makes you proud of yourself. Not for likes, not for compliments, but for your own self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, when you show up even when it's hard, when you put in the effort with no applause, that's when you develop real confidence. And in that state, you don't walk into rooms looking for attention. You walk in because you have something meaningful to bring: your presence, your voice, your story. Even if you're still healing, even if you're still learning. Point number 2, do something today without waiting for permission. Too many people live their whole lives waiting for someone else to validate them. Waiting for approval. Waiting for permission to move forward. But here's the truth: you don't need anyone to sign off on your life. Nobody's handing out permission slips for your dreams. Nobody's sitting around thinking, how can I validate their next move? That's your job. And if you keep hesitating, waiting for the green light from others, you'll spend years stuck on standby mode, silent, cautious, hidden. The people who move forward? They break that cycle. They stop asking, am I allowed, and start saying, I decide. So here's a challenge: do one thing today without asking for approval. Maybe it's posting that idea you've been holding back. Maybe it's finally saying no to something that drains you. Maybe it's starting a project you've been afraid to share. Whatever it is, do it without explaining yourself. Do it without waiting for claps. Do it because it matters to you. And here's what happens: you begin to trust yourself. You start realizing that the cage wasn't built by other people, it was built by your own hesitation. Approval is a trap. It makes you play safe instead of smart, cautious instead of courageous. And it slowly erases your voice. The moment you act without waiting for permission, you take your power back. You stop living through someone else's filter. Remember, every opinion people give you is shaped by their fears, their experiences, their insecurities. If you keep molding your life to fit those filters, you'll end up with a version of yourself that isn't even yours. So let me ask you, what decision have you been postponing because of fear of judgment? A career move? A new habit? Speaking up? Changing direction? That hesitation, that moment where you think, but what will they think? That's the exact point where growth is waiting for you. Because the truth is, most people aren't thinking about you as much as you believe. They're too busy wrestling with their own doubts. They're too busy. Point number 3, stop carrying old beliefs that don't belong to you. Most of the time, the feeling of I'm not enough doesn't come from today. It comes from the past. Somewhere along the way, someone made you feel small. Maybe they ignored your voice. Maybe they laughed at your ideas. Maybe they criticized you every time you tried. Or maybe they simply weren't there when you needed them most. And without realizing it, you picked up the message: I must not matter. I'm not good enough. But let me remind you, you did not choose that belief. It was handed to you. Yet here you are, still carrying it years later as if it's yours to hold. It's like dragging around an old, broken backpack full of other people's opinions, rejections, and judgments. It's heavy. It slows you down. And here's the truth: it was never yours to begin with. So here's the shift: stop dragging the past into your present. That weight doesn't belong to you anymore. You see, beliefs are powerful. If you keep repeating them, they become your reality, even if they're built on lies. And the old voices in your head? They'll always tell you to stay quiet, stay small, stay invisible. But you're not here to live at the mercy of someone else's story. You're here to write a new one. So the next time that voice in your head says, you don't belong here, pause and ask, whose voice is this? Mine or a ghost from the past? If it's not yours, you don't need to keep listening. This is how transformation begins, not by waiting for someone else to heal your wounds, but by choosing not to let those wounds define who you are today. Because the truth is, you are not broken. You are not less. You are not behind. You are someone who has survived, learned, and grown. And that alone makes you more powerful than you realize. You don't rebuild self-worth overnight, it's a muscle. Every time you choose to show up, even when the doubts scream at you, you're strengthening it. Every time you push back against the old belief, you're proving to yourself that you're not who they said you were.